Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. It is February 2nd, Groundhog Day, and it's a Tuesday, and you know what that means. That's usually when new releases and patches and such are released, and in the case of Heroes of the Storm, patch 16.0 has been released, and there have been some numerous interesting changes to some certain heroes and such as Nova and Rhaegar. Some ability talent portraits have been changed, like for Diablo and such. But speaking of Diablo, the most notable and important addition in patch 16.0 is the newest hero to the roster, as you see on your screen here, and it is the last class from Diablo 3, Li-Ming, the female wizard. We've had the other 5 classes in here for quite some time, and I figured at some point they were going to add the wizard, because that way you would have all the 6 of them available and have it just, complete the set. And I was curious whether or not they would go with the male or female, because they have been specific about that for certain classes. And for this one, they decided to go with the female wizard, even though I've been, guys like myself and Jesse Cox have enjoyed the voice acting of the male wizard, but the female wizard has done a pretty good job. And if you know anything about playing the wizard in Diablo 3, it is a very fun class to play. Some of the abilities that the wizard have is just ridiculously strong, including a certain heroic that they gave the wizard in this game, but I will get to that in a moment. So let's start off. Li-Ming from Diablo. A ranged assassin, difficulty hard, we'll get to that in a moment. Rebellious wizard. The derogatory moniker wizard is often given to mages with rebellious attitudes or an obsession with power. Li-Ming displays a little of both, and she's hardly ashamed of it. After all, who are they to judge a wielder of limitless arcane magic? So it plays into the backstory from the wizard class in Diablo 3. When you start, if you haven't played it, what happens is when you, in fact, for those of you who haven't played Diablo 3, when you pick a class and you start the campaign, you get a backstory to your class. In the case of the wizard, basically, he or she, depending on, I'll say she, because, of course, we're talking about Li-Ming, will say that she was at a certain place in Chaldeum, trying to learn under some teachers and such, and she was a bit cocky about it, and, a bit kind of like, well, of course, I'm super powerful, and they were like, you should be more humble than that. And so she was like, yeah, forget you guys, I don't want to learn anything from you. And so she went into the library, read tons of books, and discovered, or at least what she believes is her destiny, that there was some prophecies in the books that said that she would be very powerful and that she would be like the savior of Sanctuary and such, which leads into the story of Diablo 3, which, of course, if you play the wizard, then you're going to be the one who takes on the big baddies in the game. So anyway, that's kind of the backstory on the wizard class in the game. So let's take a look first, of course, at her skins. This is her basic look, which I guess is kind of familiar in terms of that's one of the kind of wands you can get. That's one of those sources. In your offhand, you can have a magical source to draw power from to increase your abilities. It's just kind of like how the barbarian uses 2 one-handed swords. If you want, you can play with a 2-handed staff, but that's usually when the enchantress in the game, Irena, she uses that. So in the case of the wizard, you usually have the main thing that the game kind of encourages you to use is a wand in your main hand and a source in the other hand to increase your power. So this is kind of the basic look, kind of like some different armor and pieces I can kind of recognize from Diablo 3. This is some of their skin variations. This one makes her more red with kind of a red head here. Third one, a yellow outfit and then white hair. She's become very wise over the years as she has aged. This is her master skin, which is kind of, what I would expect. Kind of a better looking wand, better looking armor pieces here to kind of accentuate that, it's supposed to be more powerful armor and weapons that you would get in Diablo 3, legendary stuff. In fact, I'm curious, because I've always been curious about the master skins for the Diablo classes, is if the master skins are supposed to be actual armor and weapons that you get in Diablo 3, which would be really cool. This is one of the skin variations. Go all pink. And here you go all purple. That's pretty cool. And now her alternate skin. I don't know about you, but this to me seems straight out of Sailor Moon. And I'm not really sure why they went with this. Oh gosh, by the way, look at the skirt. Oh man. Yep, straight out of Sailor Moon. I can tell you that right now. But yeah, it just kind of seems odd. Look at how her hair changed. And the colors, that's what reminds me of Sailor Moon. Then here she looks like Sailor Jupiter because of the green. And then here, blonde with pink. And it's just, I get what they're going for. Look at that, the source turns into a star. That's kind of cute. But it just seems kind of odd to me. So I'm not really, I get what they're going for with the skin. It's kind of funny, kind of cute. But not necessarily what I want to use. So anyway. So what are her abilities like? Well, she is a hard difficulty ranged assassin. She's got abilities that if you play the wizard, you're going to be very familiar with these. Her Q ability is magic missiles. Fires 3 magic missiles toward an area. Each deals 147 damage to the first enemy hit. Has a 3-second cooldown so that you can use this very, very quickly. And in Diablo, it's like it's like one of your basic attacks and you can just keep, boom, 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 boom. It can just keep firing. Arcane Orb. This is actually one of the more powerful abilities in Diablo 3, especially when you get the latest rune where it just launches an orb that shoots out ice shards. It's pretty powerful late in the game. But you fire an orb that powers up as it travels, deals 150 damage to the first enemy hit. The amount of damage dealt is increased the further it travels, up to 450 damage. So if you hit someone with this all the way to its farthest distance, it'll deal even more damage. And then teleport. This is a ability I didn't really use that much in Diablo because I was going for a damage buff build in that game, which I kind of have right now because I'm actually kind of going through Act 5 in Diablo with the wizard. And basically, and I hardly have ever used this ability. I just didn't really see any use for it. But in Heroes, I think this could be very useful. It has a 5-second cooldown, 30 mana. You teleport a short distance instantly. This may seem kind of odd, but when you think about it, if you buff this and such, and in certain situations, if you're chasing or trying to get away, this can be very helpful. So, what is her trait? Well, her trait is Critical Mass. Getting a takedown will refresh the cooldown on all of your abilities. So basically, if you have any of your abilities on cooldown, including your heroic, it will instantly refresh if you kill an enemy, or if your teammates kill an enemy. So you can then use the abilities immediately afterward. Now that sounds crazy, and it is, but here's the big thing here's the weakness to this trait. It's mana. Because this could use up your mana very, very fast. And that's what I realized immediately. Li-Ming could be overpowered if you are able to manage your abilities well, but it's also about mana management. That's going to be the most important thing, is how you manage your mana. Because if you run out of mana quickly, the cooldowns won't matter, because it's going to drain your mana very fast. So what are her heroics? Well, one of her heroics is the ability that I'm using all the time now, because it's just, with the buffs I have in Diablo 3, it's just way overpowered. And it's just, even on Torment, when I'm playing on Torment, this ability is ridiculously powerful. Disintegrate. 80 mana, 20 second. In fact, both of her, that's the thing, they all have very short cooldowns. All of her abilities have short cooldowns. Channels a powerful beam, dealing 440 damage over 2.5 seconds to enemies while they are in it. The direction of the beam changes with your mouse cursor position, just like in Diablo 3. Wave of Force. This isn't, it's okay ability. Knocks away all enemies from an area and deals 160 damage. I could see the use of this ability. I think Disintegrate may be the way a lot of people may go, but I can see how people would utilize Wave of Force, moving people away from certain areas. So, if you see the opponent team trying to maybe capture a boss or try and get an objective, it doesn't even happen where you are. You can have it use this ability on a certain spot on the map, so you don't even have to utilize, it doesn't have to be where you are. You, if you're a ways away from, if someone's getting a tribute and you're not that close to it, you can then boom right where the tribute is and knock them away, buying you and your team some time. So I'm not sure how often some people may use this, but I can see how it could be used, though I think Disintegrate may be the way a lot of people may go to emphasize damage. So what kind of builds can you go with? Well, basically, as I said, it's going to be about mana management. So I think a lot of people will either be going with, I don't know if Force Armor is going to be the way some people may go. Astral Presence is it's going to increase your mana regen while you have low mana. While you're below half mana, your mana regen will get increased by 100%. Power Hungry is going to be about the regeneration globes, which it restores 100% more mana and grants 10% ability power for 20 seconds. Aether Walker, if you haven't taken damage in the last 5 seconds, Teleport casts no mana, and its cooldown is decreased by 2 seconds. So you could use this to be like zoom, 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 zoom across the battlefield. Although if you have a mount, I'm not necessarily sure how often you'll want to use that. But I think some people have already figured out, because she was in PTR over the past week, that maybe Power Hungry is the way to go, because some people would have like ridiculous damage when they do it. Because 20 seconds is a long time for that regen globe to be active in terms of regenerating your mana and giving you more power in your abilities. At level 4... we have emphasizing magic missiles. Arcane Orb can pull in enemies. Triumvirate reduces the Arcane Orb cooldown max range. But I think this might be the way to go, Dominance, because takedowns restore 20% of your maximum health. Now, early on, this may not be that important, but I think late game, when takedowns become big, this just gives her much more survivability. Because, of course, like other assassins, she may deal a lot of damage, but she doesn't have that much health. She's very squishy. And if Teleport can't get you away, maybe if Takedown gets there, that gives you just more survivability, because, of course, that's going to be a very important part. And by the way, that was addressed recently with the last two heroes that came out, Lunara and Greymane. They gave them more base health to give them more survivability. So the devs are recognizing that sometimes you may give us some good damage dealing assassins, but they will die very quickly. So they're trying to give these guys more survivability. I think that's an ability that may be addressing that. At 7, I'm not necessarily crazy about any of these abilities, really. I mean, Calamity, it deals 300 damage near your destination for teleport. I mean, that's only if you're wanting to teleport to your enemy, but I don't necessarily see how often that's going to happen, unless you're just very aggressive. Arcane Orb will deal more damage from afar, but it will deal less damage to enemies close up. And then there's Seeker. And I think this might be the one that I realized was probably a better one to go with, because if you have all 3 magic missiles attack the same target, it will then deal an additional 125 damage. So if you use that like on forts and such, this could make her more of a lane pusher when you're attacking forts and such, or even bosses or single enemies like tanks. This will deal even more damage, so it can be really good. So I think that's the way I would go. And then 10, I would go Disintegrate, because that's just how, I think that's going to emphasize the damage. Plus, I love the ability from the Diablo 3 game. So here, I think some people have been going with Illusionist to increases teleport's range and damages refreshes the cooldown. So increase the range by 50%, and if you lose more than 50% of your health at once, its cooldown is instantly refreshed. This cannot happen more than once every 4 seconds. I can see why some people would do that. Glass Cannon, it increases your ability power, but it decreases your maximum health, so I wouldn't want to go with that. Cannoneer, when you use an ability, it increases your next basic attack by 75%. It causes it to deal ability damage and sucks up to 3 times. So that's one I think that I would go with, and I think other people could go with, although I think some people were already saying, oh, we'll go with Illusionist. But for me, I think I'll go with Cannoneer, unless I try out Illusionist and it becomes really good. But it's just one of those things where I gotta experiment with her more with this. Here, Diamond Scout, I'm familiar with that ability. For teleport, it grants you a shield. Drastically increases magic missile speed and lowers its cooldown by 1 second. Magic missiles fire an additional 2 missiles, so either of these could be good. You could also go with Arcane Orbit, which travels 25% farther, doing up to 25% more damage. So if you want to emphasize being able to deal damage from far away, this can be a great ability to emphasize that, kind of like how with Kael'thas, how he can deal damage but from a distance. So I could see that, although that could be just as well if you buff magic missiles because of the quick cooldown, constantly using them. And then the 20 talents, there's Temporal Flux. Disintegrate slows enemies by 60%. If you go with Wave of Force, increases Wave of Force knockback distance by 150% and increases cast range by 100%. Tal Rasha's elements, cycling abilities grants ability power, so your abilities will benefit from 20% bonus damage as long as they aren't cast twice in a row. And then there's Archon, another ability from the game. Activate to enter Archon form, allowing you to repeatedly use Disintegrate, but be unable to cast other abilities. So, I mean, I think some people would want to use that. It'd be an interesting ability to use, because, of course, Archon can be quite powerful to use in Diablo, but, I mean, I may just go with that and buff that, because slowing enemies, that could help out, especially if you have other damage dealers, so that they can get your enemies. So it's going to be interesting to see how people try and mess with this, because it's difficulty hard. You can see why she'd be hard, because the managing of this character is probably going to be ridiculous. So let's see if we can be able to take a look. Last time took a long time to get into a quick match with Greymane. I am considering doing versus AI, because I know that that's going to be a much shorter wait. I think I'm going to go with Tyrael's Charger mount here for her. I could go with Nazira, but I mean, like, the cooldown, or not the cooldown, the wait to get into it, I'm sure everyone's going to want to be playing Li-Ming in a quick match, so I mean, I'm kind of tempted to go with versus AI and maybe just have, like, the AI be, like, elite. Yeah, you know what, let's just go with quick match. So, let me turn up the game volume. So let's hope this turns out better than my Greymane video did. That's actually why I considered doing versus AI. In fact, I'm still considering it right now, because if this takes too long... Yeah. So, I guess while we're waiting, let me go ahead and show you guys my how I'm doing in terms of my overall progress. I'm now up to 379. As you can see, those are my 3 most played heroes, pretty much. 1,634 games played at this point. Look at all these level 10s I've got master skins for here. Including Thrall and Murky here. So the ones I'm working on, Tassar. Rhaegar's going to be interesting to play from now on, because he got a total rework in this patch today. Like, his talents are all changed now. They made it where he can't be a straight-up healer now. He's got to be more aggressive and such. They also buffed Zeratul Shadow Assault heroic here. And Nova got a complete rework. She got, I think, a nerf. And I think it's, like, about time. But they did some things, like they took away her triple decoy talent. That's just gone. You can't do that anymore. They changed her level 1 talents. They took away some talents that people were using, like Envenom and such, and they just completely reworked her abilities. So people are gonna have to change how they play Nova, because her burst is like gone. It's like completely changed around, or at least early on in the match. So I'm trying to think of anyone else they like really messed around with, other than like a little tweak here or there. Like I said, Lunara got a much better buff in terms of her base health, so she is much better now in terms of her survivability and her damage. I've been playing her recently, and I think it was a very nice buff that she got. Greymane also got a very nice buff, but I haven't really gone back to play with him that much. So as you can see... Oh, and by the way, Leoric got a ridiculous skin. In fact, I'm going to... Let me show you real quick. Look at this skin. This is the Space Lord skin. But this is the default variation. This kind of reminds me of Megatron, you know, the leader of the Decepticons, the original Megatron. But this variation right here. Look at this. It's straight up Boba Fett. That is amazing. Same thing with his mount here, Space Lord Starbreaker. And then you have this, the Boba colors. Oh, that's so great. It's just so good. So, alright, yeah, let's just do versus AI. We'll do elite bots.
This realm needs me.
Yeah, see, the wait is much, much shorter. So I'm up to rank 30 in Hero League. I was worried I was never... So, here's my overall, like, stats in terms of how I've done on maps and such. I've gotten the most kills as Butcher and Artanis, believe it or not. My most wins have been with Raynor by far. He's just really easy to handle, and depending on how you build him. So these are some of the heroes that I've done a lot with. The one I've died with the most definitely is Artanis, because I just refuse to leave because he's got to keep fighting in order to be effective, and if you run, he will die easily, so... I mean, it's not even close. 200 and then, like, 154-foot Butcher. Yeah, really funny. Assists, though. Look at that. 500 assists with Artanis. Much more than others like Butcher, Arthas, Malfurion. Of course, Butcher definitely the most kills because of some of his abilities are just ridiculous. He's just been a lot of fun to play with recently. I got him at 10. He's definitely now one of my favorite assassins to play. The way you build him with Onslaught and Furnace. Fresh meat! So, just a lot of fun to play. And, of course, I'm learning some others. We're trying to really learn, such as Zeratul and such. Portraits, they added a new portrait here. Oh, that's if you go with Cho and Gaul. Let's see. Here we go. United Protoss. A new portrait you get for getting Artanis, Zeratul, and Tassar at 10. I've gotten one for Raynor, Tychus, and Kerrigan. This one is for Arthas, Uther, Jaina, and Brawl. Some of the portraits I'm trying to work on. So that's what I've gotten up to this point. So, man, even versus AI, it's taking forever. I think it's because a lot of people are just wanting to play Li-Ming. Even in versus AI, and they're like, oh, the wait will be shorter in versus AI. And, nope. My gosh, this video is already almost 20 minutes long. And we haven't even started the match yet. Alright, so I think what I'll do is I'll maybe... Oh, never mind. Here we go. Okay, so Zagara, Rhaegar, Diablo, and Jaina. Good team, good team. Ooh, Towers of Doom. So for those of you who maybe like it when we do quick match, you know, I just wanted to save on time because I realized that going into quick match, it just takes way too long because of everyone's wanting to play Li-Ming today. And so you just reduce the amount of time that it takes to get into a match. Because of course I'm just trying to showcase the character, and sometimes the quick match, you know, it just becomes out of hand. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it can just become blowouts. Just ridiculous. So figured this way we'd save on time, and I can probably do a better job of showcasing the character than I would in quick match. Because I didn't really feel that satisfied with how I showcased Greymane in the previous video because it was such a blowout. This way I can probably be able to showcase Li-Ming a little better, and I may do this in the future. But if you guys still prefer me to do a quick match, let me know. Ooh, Lunar Festival! Get the elder monkey!
If this were easy,
Lunar
everyone would
Festival
do.
is upon us! Come, children! Greet your elders and
Stay close!
receive a
Stay
blessing.
close! I got him!
All right.
This is hilarious. First time I'm seeing this.
Amazing.
Yeah, got him.
May my blessing bring you good fortune.
May my blessing bring you good fortune.
Destroy the
That was funny.
Lord's towers.
Alright, here we go.
Almost not worth
Get out of here, AI, Jaina. Oh, Murky.
it. Where to?
Ah, man, they got me. So, see, I told you, very low survivability, very low health.
Yes. Send his servants to the grave.
Oh, Zagara is having a tough
That's not
time up
what I
there.
intended.
Hang on, Zagara, I'm on my way. So So the range on teleport is not that much. You see that? It's very low, like that. The range on Arcane Orb, though. And then you can see where my cursor is determines where the magic missiles will go. So that's where it's like, if I get closer, it gets, you know, like that. You see how it changes? Yeah.
You dare.
Get back here, Morales.
Trouble myself.
Yeah.
Go
Such
heal
low health.
now.
Oh, Arcane Orb. Boom.
Just right again.
That globe, there we go. Ah! Oh. Alright. Let's head down here to the altar.
The retreat is in order. Sometimes I really...
I'll help get this globe here really quick. Alright, level 4. Dominance. There we go. More survivability. Ah!
Capture the
Murky.
heroes and be quick about it.
Ah! Of course, Grayman was right there. My teammates did not come help me out. Why they decide not to bother going after the altar, I don't know. They all just chilled in their lanes.
Looks like I won't be
I don't know
dying
why.
today.
I guess they just figure, oh, the first altar's not important.
Sometimes I really...
I don't know, maybe this is why they're playing against AI rather than quick match.
You dare. Should I even be here?
By the way, I love that they added dialogue that she said, you know, what she says during matches. That a lot of it is what I've heard the wizard say during the Diablo game. So it's like if you played that class in the game, you'll recognize a lot of those things that she says. Like, I'm so good, I astound myself. Or didn't see that coming, did you? Or I'm just warming up. It's very, very, very funny. Because of course, the wizard is a very
Seems
cocky
like my
character,
travels
very
never
self-confident,
end.
like, oh, I got this.
How does this feel?
Alright, level 7. Seeker.
My old master
Alright,
should
oh,
see me
here
now.
we go.
Ourselves. We must claim them first.
Alright, so it looks like my team is actually going to go help. Well, and Zagara, just a little behind, but...
My spells are ready.
Take this, Greymane.
Capture the altars and we... Your enemies
Alright.
fall before you.
Alright, so we got Greymane out of the picture. We'll get this one, and then we'll head down here. Ah! Lag! Lag! Yeah, we got their morale. Very nice. Yeah, look at that damage it did to Jaina.
Yes, heroes. Activate the towers.
Should I even be here?
Huh. Should I even be here? Oh, and they actually reworked this map in the patch where if you get the bottom fort and then you get the mercs here, it no longer goes to the middle lane now. It will always go to the bottom lane.
How does this
The Seeker is great for getting forts now because of the extra damage it does.
Should I even be here?
Let's go defend bottom lane. Disintegrate. Here we go.
Sometimes I really miss Caldeum.
There we go.
Dare.
Huh. Sometimes I really miss Caldeum.
Do not let them take
Take
our
this mercenary
towers.
Oh, I'm noticing the music for this battleground is different. Oh man, see how much health she's losing if she tries to take merch by herself? She is very squishy.
Yes. Let the altar
Alright, so I'll heal up.
rise.
Now just chill right here, because the altar's gonna be right here. Meanwhile, our Zagara is just gonna get those mercs up top.
All right then.
The altars belong to those.
And disintegrate! Yeah, get Morales. Yeah, take that, Greymane. Yeah, there we go. And disintegrate again. You see what I mean? Instant cooldown. Instantly fresh cooldown. Even for heroics.
You'll regret this.
Ah, not far. Not far enough. Just able to get away. So it looks like Zagara is going to come over here. I'll help her out.
This one easy. Everyone will do it.
If this were easy, everyone would do it. I'll tell you, the Wizard is a very fun class to play. Very fun character. Not just in terms of the gameplay, but in terms of the character and the story. Just the responses to the conversations and such that happen in Diablo. It's really fun.
Your grave awaits. I knew we could do this.
Okay, so we got that. Cannoneer now. Let's help fend off what's going on in top lane. Look at this.
Another battle.
Oh, altar right there.
You dare.
Go to the shrine.
The tower is under my.
Oh, no. The fountain, actually, and heal up.
These mercenaries will fight
Jaina's
for
gonna get
us
that
or
one. Let me go over
die.
here.
Go! Do not let the altars fall into the region.
Disintegrate! Oh! Ah! Woo! Oh my goodness, that almost got me. I was so close to getting killed by Murky's fish. Good thing Rhaegar was there to help heal me. Oh boy! Hang on, Diablo, we're coming! Disintegrate! Yeah! And disintegrate again! Yeah! See what I mean? If you have enough mana, that is just ridiculous. Instant cooldown for your abilities. You got Murky. Couldn't plant your egg, huh? Ah! No, 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 no.
Will fall before my attack.
Well, that was kind of a bad idea. Let me get this globe. There we go. So now it's just hammering their core because we have all the forts. There we go. Instant cooldown once again. Alright, so this is going to be over pretty quickly, which is kind of what I expected. I didn't even get to choose my other talent. Look at the Lunar Festival dragons. Hey, you won. So I expected it was going to be a quick match. No pun intended. A quick, game over very quickly due to us playing AI, but obviously I just wanted to be able to spare you guys the long wait that quick match was going to do to us, as well as the possible blowout loss, because I kind of get tired of having to do that whenever we deal with, me trying to showcase the character, and it ended up being a blowout loss, so I can't really showcase to it. But I hope that gave you guys an idea of what she's like. Yeah, I didn't even get to choose my 16 talent because it was over too quickly. But, I told you guys how I think I might build her. So, lead and hero damage, because as I showed you, the takedowns, boom, immediately could do disintegrate right afterwards, immediately again. And the range it's got, the fact that it can, it doesn't stop at the first hero in front of you. It goes through and penetrates to the other heroes behind them. So if you want to be able to attack both the tank and the healer, like Morales there, that could be a great counter. So I think Li-Ming, I think she's going to be used quite a bit, probably especially in Hero League, because of she's once again a high-level cap skill player. So if you're very skilled, this can definitely be an assassin I see a lot of people will play, like in ranked play and such. Probably not so much for those like me who, the build I've kind of found, I think, is manageable for myself or my skill. I think more highly skilled players will find other builds that probably will be more effective, like having to do with teleport and such. But, yeah, I like her, and I think she's a really good assassin. The skills that she's got could make her potentially overpowered, and I think she will definitely be used a lot more in the future. Obviously, this is the first day that she's out for live play, but I think we're going to see Li-Ming used quite often. I think she's going to be a very, very good assassin to play. So, and I'm looking forward to experimenting with her more and seeing how good she can be, especially when I actually get to do quick match and ranked play, see how she deals in those kind of situations, and also on other certain maps, because I've only played a few certain maps. There are other maps I'm wondering about how effective she'll be in big team fights, objectives. There, she was pretty effective in team fights, but of course we were playing against AI. I'm sure it'll be different in ranked play when people can actually plan their comps to counter her and such, because of course she's very, very squishy. She can die very, very quickly. So if you have heroes that can quickly get to her and finish her off in a matter of seconds, yeah, that's probably going to be the way to go to counter Li-Ming. But if she can stay alive, or if you have a healer like Morales or someone that can help keep Li-Ming alive, she can do a ton of damage. So that was Li-Ming, everyone. And as always, we will be waiting till the next hero gets added. I believe I saw in the video they showed that the next hero that's going to be released for this roster is going to be Xul, X-U-L, the necromancer from Diablo 2, I believe. If I think that's the correct character. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I think that's who they said was going to be the next hero added to the roster. When? I don't know. But obviously, whenever he comes out, or whoever comes out next, I will be covering them, unless it's someone like Cho'Gall. And again, I have no idea when that Cho'Gall video is ever going to happen, but it'll happen someday. I just don't know when. So, until then, I will see you guys next time.